So now that we've said that, where do we go from here? That's what Dr. King asked in 1967 when he talked to the SCLC convention. Where do we go from here? He meant, where did the freedom movement go from here? It wasn't the civil rights movement, it was the freedom movement. Where does the freedom movement go from here? He said, you know, we're building a movement that's been a centuries-long struggle of black people for freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. And so he said, where do we go from here? We have to analyze things. While we've made a lot of progress in 1964, 1965, civil rights and voting rights, actually made progress. Oh, that Sunday we shed blood, so much blood on Bloody Sunday in Selma, 1965, to get the Voting Rights Act passed. I know it was the blood. I know it was the blood. I know it was the blood saved me. We did all of that to get the 64 Civil Rights Act, 65 Civil Rights. But where are we now? He said, black people in America in 1967 have half of what is good and double of what is bad. So what is wrong here? He said we have to analyze the situation and recognize that we have to dismantle the entire structure of the United States because it's rotten to the core, because he said America has to be born again. You can't fix this, it has to be born again. How will we do that? He said, we're going to launch a new step called the Poor People's Campaign. And what we're looking to do with the Poor People's Campaign is to demand a total redistribution of the wealth of the United States of America. Of course, the United States government saw him, that's right. The United States government saw him as an enemy, declared Dr. King was a communist. We said he was a black revolutionary. That's what we said. But of course, the government had made a plan already to get rid of him. And a few months later, in Memphis, Tennessee, in April of 1968, the government orchestrated the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. By this time, in 1966, the Black Panther Party had been formed, and Huey P. Newton had come onto the stage of history, saying that the only way for freedom for black people was through revolutionary change. Revolutionary change. And Huey Newton, by this time, had also been charged with the killing of a white cop in Oakland. It was a little different than today, isn't it? This was a black man, a revolutionary, charged with killing the white cop. So we didn't go around holding our head down talking about I can't breathe. We didn't go around and said, you know, hands up, don't shoot. We didn't ask white people to think Black Lives Matter. We said, free Huey or else the sky's the limit. Free Huey or else the sky's the limit. We said off the pig. That's what we said. We said, the revolution has come off the pig. Time to pick up the gun off the pig. And those of us that joined the Black Panther Party and pledged our lives to the struggle of black people for liberation in America, we meant that shit. Oh yes, we meant that. And so we organized ourselves and our people to fight for freedom, our freedom. The first point of the Black Panther Party 10-point platform and program was, we want freedom, power to determine the destiny of our black community. And we knew that the only way we would find freedom in America was through revolutionary change, because the very foundation of this country, this racist, capitalist, oppressive country, was the foundation of our oppression. So it all had to go. We wanted revolutionary change, and we were the revolutionaries. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. And what do? We organized our people to fight for freedom, and we coalesced with other organizations, from revolutionary organizations from other oppressed groups, with the American Indian movement, with the Brown Berets, with the Young Lords, with the Red Guard, with the Gray Panthers, with people fighting for environmental justice, people fighting for gay liberation, people fighting for women's liberation. Because all of this was one struggle. It was a struggle for the liberation of all oppressed people. Now there was a brother named Bunchy Carter who started the Southern California chapter of the Black Panther Party, where I joined the party before I became the only woman leader of the Black Panther Party. And Bunchy Carter wrote a poem that gave full expression to what we meant with our commitment. He said, it was called Black Mother. He said, Black Mother, I must confess that I still breathe, though you are not yet free. What could justify my crying start? Forgive my coward's heart, but blame me not the sheepish me, for I've been sleeping in a deep, deep sleep, and I be hazed and dazed, and vipers fester in my hair. Black Mother, I curse your drudging years, the rapes, heartaches, sweat, and tears, but that cannot redeem the fact you cried in pain. I turned my back and ran into the Myers fog and watched while you were dogged and died 1,000 deaths. But I swear on siege night, dark and gloom, arose our way to honor you. And when I fall, you'll be free. And I am man, for a slave of natural death who dies can't balance out the 2 dead flies. I'd rather be without the shame, a bullet lodged within my brain, Black Mother. And so we organized our people and we created survival programs. You know them. Survival Pending Revolution, the free breakfast program. A lot of you probably ate at the free breakfast program. We had free food program, free busing in prison, free housing, free shoes, free clothing, because we wanted to provide for our people's basic needs, but educate to liberate under the slogan, Survival Pending Revolution. And we coalesced with other groups, in addition to those brown berets. We coalesced with freedom fighters throughout the continent. And the continent here would be Africa, by the way, when we speak about the continent. We coalesced with ZANU in Zimbabwe and the MPLA in Angola and FRELIMO in Mozambique and the PAC in South Africa and the PLO and the PFLP in Palestine. And we fought. And we created these programs, and the United States government came to deem the Black Panther Party the greatest threat to the internal security of the United States. And J. Edgar Hoover said, we're not worried about the Panthers and their little puny guns, because the United States is strapped like a mother, isn't it? I'm walking around here talking about they're worried about our guns. They said, that's that butter they're spreading, that anti-government propaganda through those survival programs, feeding these children, all of them learning about revolution. They got to go. So they attacked us with everything they had. Assaulted our offices and our homes with police, with SWAT teams that had just been invented for us. And they attacked our members and put us in prison forever. And they murdered our members. And so we fought anyway, until the weight of the government's agenda brought us down. Now what has happened between then and now? Have we let the flame of the struggle of black liberation die in favor of our own little individual struggles for our identity? Is this where we are? We're not even we anymore? Is it all about whether I have a pronoun that matches yours, as if when we were picking cotton for 250 years in Georgia, anybody cared about your damn pronoun? Are we all about our gender identity, our sexual identity, and forgetting that we are together as oppressed people that need to get back on the freedom train, get back to the liberation of black people, get back to the struggle, and make all this talent work for something for our people? And so when we look for the, thank you, when we look, they applaud each other, but we're going to get back on the freedom train. Maybe we're going to resurrect the Panther and the spirit of the Panther. And so when we look back and we look at today, we say, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We got to organize for freedom. We got to come together, as the beautiful George Jackson said, settle your differences, and come together to fight for freedom. Because we have what? We have the power. We have the power among us that when we decide we want to rise up and change everything, we will do that. And you know why we have the power? Because all power belongs to the people. All power belongs to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people.
side, Brooklyn, we here, what's up? Gang, gang, gang. Got my guys with me too. What's up? Y'all turn up, what's up? Shout out to Elaine Brown, shout out to Kirby-No. It's 22 G's from Flatbush, Brooklyn. Sniper Blicky. Long live the fallen Blickies too. Long live Nick Blicky. Long live Theo Blicky. Long live Blue Blick. Okay. Yeah, y'all tuned in. Whoa.
Gang, that's brick. Spin through 2 sticks, I take it, a Sprite shit, gon' get stick. Woke up, no mask, get tagged up, spinning with Taliban sweaters and shoes. Big shot, they can't open the casket, shooter gon' spin to busy. Niggas ain't active, dissing on so stupid, whack up, now look who's laughing. Spinning it slowly, you hop out the car with the ratchet, hoes in his fashion. And that boy just a rapper, catching the traffic, won't get a pass, he's lacking. Back door for the back end, they left him gas, brody a shooter like. Only fear she a trish made a line on this lock to the mansion for slapping. Louis your mirror, no shooting that bitch that you like, but she average. Kinda hard to believe me setting this cash, these niggas be capping. Give 2 fucks to jacket, chose me from the heck tap. I'm the GOAT, gotta drive in a boat, act bad. She classy, in the scope, he got caught in the scope, bad. He lacking, Stepper gon' end the notch with his wiggins. Stepper gon' up it, hit him in the stomach. Niggas so cool, spin it. Long live Blue Blick, RP, low pipe, gang, that's blick. Spin through 2 sticks, I'm taking the Sprite shit, gon' get stick. Woke up, no mask, get tagged up, spinning with Taliban sweaters and shit. They shot, they can't open the casket, shooter gon' spin till he busy. Long live Blue Blick, RP, low pipe, gang, that's blick. Spin through 2 sticks, I'm taking the Sprite shit, gon' get stick. Woke up, no mask, get tagged up, spinning with Taliban sweaters and shit. They shot, they can't open the casket, shooter gon' spin till he busy. Gang, sniper the blicky, the blicky, the blicky. Hey yo, what's up? Y'all lit? What's up? What's going on? We outside? Make some noise, turn this shit up. Yeah! Gang. Sniper the blicky, the blicky, the blicky.
My boys outside, ripped it all white. How we looking? Talk to us nice, what's up? On gang. Shout out Kodak Black, shout out Cultivated. Outside, TDD for the fun shit. Sniper the blicky, the blicky, the blicky, the blicky. Gang. When I get the swerving on them, spinning the curve up on them, sending some purpose on them, if we lurking on them, ain't no service for them. I'm on a mission for them. Sniper gang got the vision on them. Never snitching, go to prison for them. Underground drum dirty, blood dripping on them. Pussy nigga when it gets the game, you know that's a penalty is death. Take his last breath, bullet burning like a prime bacon, nigga. Never mind the hating, I'm a general, nigga. I'm about to put an end to you niggas. Niggas fuck your baby mama, spit the boy the money on the dealers. You was with the gang. I was trying to be like 22. I'm responsible for all you niggas. I'm the realest nigga, tell the truth. And I know I might alarm you. Nobody thinks you a gone you. 30 round knocking off the limb, maybe leg half plus an arm too. I can look into your eyes, know you never been on it. Some niggas be ditching, never really get put in that ditch and that was mama. Put out that hit and now we got him. This shit ain't no Tory Lane. I pull out that hit and he know for me. You don't want these blicky niggas parked inside a high bridge. Look what I did. Got the ladder hanging out the stick, looking like a high bridge. You better fuck real right. That can suck a dick and get killed too. Now no damn well who got your ears hit. Even cool the blood get spilled too. Killing niggas that I rap about it like I'm Nelly, nigga. Ain't no shit that you can tell me, nigga. Murder on my mind, true. I'm a dead nigga. Nigga compare my shit to none of these. Not JD, nah, I'm especially not that snitch, nigga. Gang. And especially not that snitch, nigga. Gang. Shout out Pyer Moss, man. We going crazy. Y'all gonna see my face a lot.
Brooklyn, what's up? NYC, what's up? Queens, Bronx, Staten Island, what's up? We outside, right? Yeah. Turn this shit out, let's get it. Shout out Pyer Moss, man. New drip in town. I see what the fuck going on. Go pop up. Yeah, man. That's how we move. Gang, 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 gang. Twirl, twirl, twirl. My slapper gon' brush him if I press the button to drip and scuttle. The blick in the double came with a muzzle, so why would I touch it? I'm as dancing flooded, we done turned up into something. Niggas be capping, bluffing, tweet that's a holy a muffin. What's all the tension? Try to run over the drip and ain't give me a mention. Switch up redemption, trees at the drop, we gon' pull up with blinkers and drencher. Look at these actors, dropping the brakes, ain't never spit Cali. Spinning for rappers, what's the chances that he got his ratchet? It's gon' be a disaster, he ain't no step for that boy in the fashion. Stop like Captain, aim for his mind, that cabbage, he in a casket. Gang gon' whack him, he made a diss trying to get a reaction. Came with the catch, I'm crashing, my whole gang spinning for the back end. Want me to be disrespectful, pull up to the funeral, spinning the coffin. Put some more shots in his mouth, now they can't see his face, that fall like talking. Headshot, he ain't gon' make it, his brains on the payment, no risk, no statement. My killers ain't taking no payment, they said it's for free. That nigga drown, drop a diss, RP, little pipe, pull for that drip. Oh, we know run down, go skits, come out, ooh, catch him lacking, and they hopping out the whip. See all the hate through these cardies. Put that fresh on the party. That's when Migos gon' sit over party. Rippin' Brooklyn like Biggie and Hardy. Grab the AO with the scope. Pull up with coach. Now he goes. Kill an op, then make a toast. Kill an op, trip off, he dropping the road. Stop you sticking and glisten. Clip can't slip through just like Dizzy. Bullies gon' spit till it's dizzy. Spotted man, I'm not the Ritz. Catch a body, then hit up the Juba. I got 20 blue clips in a Ruger. Back then used to fuck out the Uber. Over scooter, the maneuver. Can't respond to no nigga that game so cool up. Goofies, niggas stole a trip back like they never knew us. Got a bad yellow bitch, got a line from Cuba. She gon' swing me the alley, report up and see looking like Huga. Niggas ain't spinning shit, they just type of computers. And my last name Flex, so I'm picking a tool up. Gang, 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 my stepper gon' brush her if I press the button to flip this cup. The flick in the double came with a muzzle, so why would I touch it? Diamonds dancing flooded, we done turned up into something. Niggas be capping, bluffing, tweet that's a holy a muffin. My stepper gon' flush him if I press the button to drip this cup. The flick in the double came with a muzzle, so why would I touch it? Diamonds dancing flooded, we done turned up into something. Niggas be capping, bluffing, tweet that's a holy a muffin. Going up. Hey yo, what's up? I need this shit activated. Back y'all phones up. Gang, gang, gang. Sniper the blicky, the blicky, the blicky, the blicky. Gang, gang, gang. Gang, gang, gang. Twirl, twirl, twirl. Hey yo, y'all go download that Blicky Tape too. All platforms now. On gang. Twirl. They turn it up. Youngest in charge of this shit though. You know what's up. Flatbush, we here, Brooklyn. H Block. This field. Harvey, gang. Sniper the blicky, the blicky, the blicky. Twirl, twirl. Twirl, twirl. Gang, gang, gang. Put your mask on. This boat try to spin that block. You know, massive on strap, you try to run, he get that far. This boat try to spin that block, can't go switch that car. Kill out, I'll get blasted, only gon' spin that chart. Hanging out on backs and bourbon, he gon' hit that target. One out of shot like a face, so spin through, hang out the window, drink up. Back when the years in the place, don't burn my
the city.
Water whipping on the stove, pussy nigga, I'ma go. Niggas be bitches, can't handle the pussy, the snitching, y'all niggas be backing up. Shit out the Florida, you know the story, bro. I was locked up in the maximum. If these niggas killers is blicky, the niggas with these pussy niggas be asking them. Oh, we care about the spinning, ain't on the dick, I'm swerving up and blasting them. When it's war, we coming non-stop. Keep a boy in the blind spot. Bondo almost caught a triple cup, but we hit his ass with 9 shots. Now he landing in the fucking buck, body in the pop box. Free my niggas with the fucking muzzles. Guess what happened when we find ops? Niggas sliding down the city, vouching for a snitch, but I'ma keep it litty. I'm the closest thing to 50, letting them forget. I see Q and Eddie, put it like some hood, and on the pretty. I see Betty Luciano, hit him with a hollow, yeah, I keep it pretty. I'm posting up with this chop and I'm feeling like pop. Catch a case, go to court. I'm out around with this blick and I'm feeling like big. I'm the king of New York, never snitched, never told. Never bitch, never phone. Yeah, water whipping on the stove, pussy nigga on the phone. Twirl on them, twirl, 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 twirl. Hey yo, shout out to Pyer Moss once again.